Hello, everybody. Good morning. I hope you're having an amazing morning. Hello, my name is Magdalena Tiburcio. I will be your speaker today, and today we will be talking about social and emotional learning. So, welcome to the session. I am Magda. I'm in Mexico City, locked up in my apartment and still not going crazy, so that's good news, I guess. I hope you're doing great, and today's session will be on social and emotional learning and how we can apply some strategies and activities into our language classrooms. All sessions are being recorded, so if you would like to watch these again at the end of the webinar, I will tell you where you can watch the recordings. So hello, everybody. Let me know if you can hear me. You can send me messages in the chat box. Some people cannot hear me. How about the others? Can you hear me? Hello, hello. Yes? Okay, most people. So tell us, where are you from? I'm here in Mexico City, in Gustavo Amadero. How about the others? Mazatlan. Oh, beautiful Mazatlan. Hello. Colombia. Tlaxcala, Cancún. Hey, Iztapalapa. De Iztapalapa para el mundo, right? It's Colombia, Uruguay, Argentina. Hello, everybody. Hello, Guayaquil, Ecuador, Oaxaca, Peru, El Salvador. So, hello, Latin America. Welcome to the webinar. I hope you enjoy the session. There are lots of people from Mexico, from all around Mexico, and lots of people from Uruguay, Argentina, Ecuador, Peru, Central America as well, Guatemala, El Salvador. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the session. We're very happy to have you here. And today's session, as I mentioned, is on social and emotional learning. So I'm going to start the session with a poll. And with this poll, I would like to know, how are you feeling today? So you should be able to see the poll right now. Vote, please. So how are you feeling today? Are you happy, bored because you like going out and being inside or being indoors is not your thing? Are you cranky today? Are you excited? Are you hopeful? How are you feeling today? I don't know about your plans, but my plans for the weekend are basically hanging out in the living room watching TV, since I've been the entire week in in the studio. So hello everybody. We're voting. Let's see how many people have voted in the poll. 71% of the people have voted. Okay, I will wait for a few seconds more. So someone is saying that their weekend includes lots of movies and popcorn. Mine too. So hi Tony from Ciudad de Mexico. From Ciudad de Mexico, my Spanglish is amazing, right? Okay, so 80 people have voted, 80%, sorry. So I'm going to stop the poll now. And now I'm going to share with you the results so you can see what happened. So basically, people said that they feel happy today and hopeful, right? Some people are excited. A few people are bored. Hopefully, you will have fun in this hour session. And we have some people who are cranky as well. Well, hopefully, your mood will change during the session. Right, I'm going to stop the poll. So let's get started with the session and learn about social and emotional learning. We are lots of people, we are hundreds of people in here, so I will try to keep up with the chat. Please do not be offended if I miss your message. I will be reading all of the message, but probably not in real time. You know, my brain is not that multitasking as one would hope. So let's get started with the session, and I will show you my screen so you can see the presentation, and I will walk you through it, right? So turning off the camera, and let's focus on the presentation, right? Someone is sending us greetings from Ambato, Ecuador. Maria Caridad, where is Ambato? In which part of Ecuador is Ambato? I hadn't heard about Ambato before. I will come back to check on your answer. So let's get started with social and emotional learning. Um, Lots of people from Ecuador. Hello, everybody. How are you doing over there in Ecuador? I have never been to Ecuador. Hopefully, we'll go someday. Ambato is located 3 hours away from Quito. Oh, cool. In the highlands. Sounds cool. So let's talk about what social emotional learning is and how we can help our students in our English language lessons with it, right? So here's a definition that comes from CASEL. CASEL is an organization called Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning. If you would like to learn more about social and emotional learning, they have lots of research and free resources. Once again, just Google Castle and you will find lots of things related to social and emotional learning that I think will be very useful for you. So they define social and emotional learning as a process through which children and adults as well, because don't forget that many of us as adults still need to work on these skills, are going to be able to understand and manage their emotions, to set and achieve positive goals, to feel and show empathy for others, to establish and maintain positive relationships, and to make responsible decision making. So this is basically what social and emotional learning means. And something important, as you probably already know, is that having great academic skills is not enough. Sometimes people have amazing academic skills, but social skills or emotional skills are not as well, and this brings lots of suffering to their entire lives, to adult life or teenage life or your childhood. So it's quite important to be aware of this, and hopefully social and emotional learning skills are learned at home. But as you know, as adults, being an adult does not guarantee that you have mastered social and emotional skills. We still have lots of things to learn. Um, and something that you should know as well related to social and emotional learning is that it has a very positive impact in other areas of life. So this information I took from an organization called the Committee for Children, and in the Committee for Children they say that there is a clear correlation between skills that you learn in social and emotional learning programs and academic achievement, positive behavior, and healthier life choices. So when you choose to lead a life, for example, that it's not healthy, let's say that you are a couch potato like me, for example, right? I don't exercise regularly. I tend to eat lots of fast food because I'm always on the rush. So the more you become aware of social and emotional skills, the more difficult it is to keep up with that kind of behavior because you know that your choices are not okay, and that's when you start looking for changes. Maybe you join a gym or you join a group of people who like doing activities, so they drag you along, etc. Right? Also, something important that you should know is that there are 5 main areas regarding social and emotional learning. So the big idea behind SEL programs, is that your students have knowledge, attitudes, and skills that they can apply. So the 5 areas of SEL, which is social and emotional learning, is basically understanding and manage emotions, setting and achieving positive goals, feeling and showing empathy for others, establishing and maintaining positive relationships, and making responsible decisions. Now, CASEL, which is this organization I mentioned, has, through research, created this wheel. In a section of your toolbar called handouts, I have included this handout, okay? In there is a little tab that says handouts. And if you click there, you will find something that is called Castle Competencies PDF. So that's a free resource for you. You can freely available find it in, wait, what did I say? You can freely find it available. There you go. That's the sentence. You can find that in you can find this in the website, in the castle's website. So this is a free resource, and it shows what's necessary to take into account for children and people in general to really be able to develop social and emotional skills. Okay, so as you can see, there are outer circles which you should take into account. So the very first circle would be homes and communities, meaning the family and the community partnerships are important. So it's important that parents are aware of social and emotional skills, and that they are aware of programs that you carry out in your school. Also, the other circle would be schools. Inside the community, you have the school, and the entire school should be included in this. So if only the English teacher is going to carry out social and emotional learning activities, you won't have as good results as you would if everybody applies them. So it's important that everybody gets on board with these programs. Now, this doesn't mean that the things that you do in your English class are not going to have an impact. They will have an impact. The difference is that they won't have an impact as big and as deep as if the entire school gets involved. And then the inner circle is the classroom. And basically, this is a social and emotional learning curriculum and instruction, which means doing activities and being aware of these skills that we are supposed to be teaching to our students, right? So, well, in here, you can see the 5 different areas where students have to develop skills: self-management, responsible decision-making, relationship skills, social awareness, and self-awareness. Now, let's explore each one of them so we really get to know what this means. This page that you can see in my screen, it's also in your handout. So if you want to have this handout and keep it and check it out every time that you want to plan an activity, you have it there. Feel free to just click and download. And let's explore each one of these areas. Let's talk about self-awareness first. All right. Self-awareness is the ability to accurately recognize one's own emotions, thoughts, and values, and how they influence your behavior. So there is probably this joke is only going to be funny for Mexicans. There is a phrase that they say in Guadalajara, which is a place in Mexico, and people say, "Me siento bien, sabe cómo." Have you ever heard that? The sabe cómo? This is of course not proper Spanish. It's a phrase that they say in Guadalajara a lot, and it cracks me up every time they say it, because it really describes a feeling, right? So sometimes we are not aware of how we are feeling and why this impacts our behavior. So for the people who are feeling cranky, do you know why you are feeling cranky today? It's very frequent that you are feeling cranky and you don't know why. You don't even know what's bothering you. And if you don't know what's bothering you, then it's impossible to change your mood. So being aware of your own emotions, your thoughts, your values, and recognizing them, it's part of the self-awareness skills. Also, the ability to accurately assess one's strengths and limitations with a well grounded sense of confidence, optimism, and growth mindset. So, it's being very realistic and thinking, well, I am not a very good swimmer. Um, I would like to become a better swimmer, so I will practice more, right? But if you are 38 years old and you're not a very good swimmer, and then you think, well, I'm going to start practicing swimming so I can compete in the Olympics. There's a problem with that thought. It's not very realistic, and maybe you're not being very realistic about your strengths and limitations. So that's what this means. It's not just being positive because being positive is cool. Being realistic and positive, having this growth mindset, right? So, um, so someone is saying that in Guatemala they say tengo no sé qué, right? That's right. And Marta is telling us, eres bien así, quién sabe cómo. That's right. That's the typical phrase in Guadalajara, right? So, as I was saying, some of the skills that we are promoting with self-awareness is basically identifying emotions. So, any activity that we can do in class that can help our students to identify how they feel will help with self-awareness. Also accurate self-perception, right? Recognizing your strengths, self-confidence, self-efficacy. So, these are some of the specific skills that you can develop here, right? Now, we also have the social awareness part. So, social awareness means taking the perspective of and empathize with others. So, it's like walking in someone else's shoes, basically, including those from diverse backgrounds and cultures, right? I remember many, many years ago taking a lesson on how people would say hello in different parts of New York City. And basically, they were saying that there are sometimes there's beef between ethnicities, basically because of the way they say hello. So this happens very often when you are in Latin in Latin cultures where we like kissing and hugging and we are usually very warm, and then you encounter someone who doesn't like that a lot, and then people in this new environment perceive this person as cold or rude. This is a typical one that happens in offices or places where there's someone who's foreign and says hello in a different way. So being aware of different backgrounds and cultures, it's important for communication. Also the ability to understand social and ethical norms for behavior, and recognizing family, school, and community resources and supports. So the particular skills in this area are perspective taking, empathy, appreciating diversity, and respecting others. So this is social awareness. And so Jennifer is asking about the recording. I will give you the link to the recordings at the end of the session, Jennifer. Don't worry. By the end of the session, I will tell you where you can find all the recordings of all the webinars that we have been broadcasting. So let's move on to responsible decision making. Responsible decision making is another one of the competencies that we have to work with, and this is basically the ability to make constructive choices about your personal behavior and social interactions based on ethical standards, safety concerns, and social norms. Also, it's the realistic evaluation of consequences, and also considering the well-being of yourself and others. I'm very sure that you have heard, these challenges that go around in TikTok or YouTube or Facebook or Twitter. And there's this coronavirus challenge. Have you heard about it? It's basically licking a toilet. I'm not kidding. It's a real thing. So some people are doing the coronavirus challenge, and it's basically licking, putting your tongue against a public toilet. So that's the challenge. I think it's terribly stupid, but it's a perfect example of what responsible decision making is not. Right. So basically, with this challenge, people are not taking into consideration their well being or others' well being. Right. So this is a very important thing. Now, this is a very important thing, as you can see, because not having these skills is something that, I mean, who cares about school right now? If you get coronavirus, if you get sick, that's not important. But I mean, not having the ability to make those decisions could actually um, end up in you dying, right? Or people around you. So someone is saying here, an influencer did the coronavirus challenge and he tested positive for coronavirus. That's right. And then he was whining about coronavirus, which was like, dude, really, right? So something important again um, is to develop this. Now, um, it's not that we are going to magically make these skills appear in our students. It's something that we have to work with them constantly. We should work with our students as often as we can to help them develop these skills. And again, if you only develop social and emotional learning skills in your English class, the process is going to be way slower than rather than if you apply it in the entire school. So that's why it's important that all the school works on having social and emotional activities in their classes. We also have self-management. Self-management is the ability to successfully regulate yourself, regulate your thoughts, your behavior in different situations, and to effectively manage stress, to control impulses, to motivate yourself, and basically the ability to set and work toward personal and academic goals. So this includes being able to control your impulses, right? Impulse control, stress management, self-discipline, self-motivation, goal setting, organizational skills. Now, let's be very honest. How many of us, as adults and as teachers, can say that we have mastered all of these skills? It's difficult, isn't it? So that's why everybody has to work towards social and emotional learning. The entire school community, the entire school, the teachers, the students, etc. So you can really see any good results happening or going on, right? Um, Now, it's true that many institutions are not interested in investing in having social and emotional learning. And that's why, as teachers, we should try and bring something ourselves, right? So maybe the entire school cannot participate, but at least you can try, okay? Now, we also have the relationship skills. Relationship skills is basically the ability to establish and maintain healthy and rewarding relationships with different people and with different groups of people. Also, it's the ability to communicate clearly, to listen well, to cooperate with others, to resist inappropriate social pressure, to negotiate conflict constructively, and to seek and offer help when needed. So in here you have communication, social engagement, relationship building, and teamwork, right? So I am sure that many of you are thinking, well, this sounds really cool. It sounds pretty, but how do I do it? Well, that's the idea today. The idea today is that we can learn how, as English teachers, we can do something about social and emotional learning, right? So it's not about changing the world in just one vocabulary lesson, but trying to do our part of this work, right? So the idea, again, our goal is to help children and teenagers to develop each competence in our classrooms and beyond. So there will be things that they can easily apply. There will be things that won't be as easy. But if you include social and emotional learning in your lessons regularly, I am sure that you will have good results, or at least you will start seeing results. So let's talk about the different activities we can do in our classrooms. Let's be practical. This was the theoretical part, which was very important for us to understand what this is and where it's trying to go. And these are the kinds of things that we intend to develop in our students, right? Empathy, emotion management, emotion recognition. Maybe you cannot manage your emotions at first, but at least you can recognize them, for example. That's a step forward. Also problem solving, impulse control, teaching our students how to calm down and learning ourselves how to calm down as well, learning to communicate, being assertive, etc. So these are some of the things that we can help our students to develop during our lessons, little by little, of course, right? So let's get to the practical ideas. And let's try to answer this question. How can we help our students, not just kids, but also teenagers, how to manage their emotions at their own convenience? So let's explore the activities for class. The very first thing is vocabulary. You will be surprised about how many people and how many children and teenagers do not have enough vocabulary to describe their emotions. So this joke I was making at the beginning, the bien sabe cómo, it's basically not having the words to express accurately how you're feeling. So it's very important that we work on vocabulary, and we can help our students to identify and express how they are feeling their emotions, and later on, if they can identify the emotion, they can manage it. They have more chances to manage this, right? um, so let's see what kinds of activities we can do. This is a simple vocabulary activity for young children, and in here we are learning basic emotions, right? This is actually a memory game for kids, and they are cards, and they have to find the pairs, right? And here we are learning about how these people are feeling. Here we have another example for older children. So as you can see, the vocabulary here is very basic. And then this one, it's a little bit more, it's got more options, right? It's not just happy, but you can say that you are feeling excited. Or it's not just that you feel sad, but you can say that you feel hurt, right? So basically teaching vocabulary that can be useful later on to recognize emotions as well. Now, here's another one. This one is for teenagers, or students in fifth or sixth grade can also use this. And in here, as you can see, we have much more specific vocabulary to describe emotions. So for example, we have the emotions from low to high in terms of intensity. And then we have happy, sad, angry, afraid, or ashamed, but how can you say it, right? So for example, I can be unsure, which is in the afraid section, but that's low. I can be frightened, which is medium, or I can be terrified, right? Or petrified. Maybe once you were afraid, you were petrified, right? So the idea of using these charts with vocabulary, of course, is that as English learners, we extend our vocabulary, but this also helps with social and emotional skills, because it allows our students to describe in a more precise way how they are feeling, right? Now, how can I do this practically? Well, I choose to teach this vocabulary in my class, and then what? How can I use this? Well, I can use this in an activity called the daily check-in. The daily check-in is a super simple activity, which is basically asking people every single class, how are you feeling today? Right? That's it. You don't need to go any further. It's just asking how you're feeling today and not accepting the answer, fine, thank you, and you? right? That's the idea, that you don't take that answer as the final answer. The idea is to invite our students to tell us a little bit more. So, for example, I will be reading the chat in case that you want to use this one, right? So let's say that the day they told you that school was going to be suspended because of this pandemic and that you had to stay home, how did you feel that day? I will be reading the emotions that you write or that you type in the chat. So tell me, how were you feeling that day? The day they told you that you had to stay at home, the day they told you that you had to not to go to the office, right? So people are saying worried, shocked, anxious, apprehensive, frustrated, worried, heartbroken, ultra worried, fearful, insecure, confused, perturbed, worried, etc., right? Great. Okay. So we can also say, how do you think you will feel when everything goes back to normal? So think about it. Look in the list. How will you feel when you think everything goes back to normal? People are saying relieved, excited, overjoyed, cheerful, gratified. Okay. Blessed. Good. Unsure. I'll be glad, fired up, cheerful, blessed. Alrighty. Right? So the check-in is a simple activity, and someone mentioned that they use this activity in their preschool. It's a common activity to use in preschools. In preschool, we do great work in social and emotional skills because it's very obvious that we have to help these children to adapt to society, to school, etc. But we stop doing it. When our students become older, we stop doing these things, and it's important that we still take care of that. Um, so here I have a more specific account of how they were feeling when they heard about this. And Denise is telling us that I felt annoyed because lots of things I have to do at school. I feel insecure right now. I will be overjoyed when this situation ends. Great. Thank you for the information, Denise. And well, the idea of this is that we can ask our students how you are feeling. At the beginning, they are not going to be very communicative. Okay, at the beginning, they won't say much, but as time goes on, you will notice that they start sharing a little bit more. So this is about being constant, doing this constantly, right? That's the daily check-in. Also, you can create an emotions wheel. In an emotions wheel, you write names of emotions around, and then inside you have to write things that provoke this feeling. So we were back then identifying emotions and learning words to describe emotions. And what we are doing with this activity is to identify when or how we get to this emotion, right? So for example, in here it says angry. So what makes you feel angry? And then you can draw it there. If you are a very young child, you draw it. If you are an older student, you can write a sentence about when you get angry or things that make you angry. Or I saw on the internet a couple of pictures of emotion wheels that were very big. They were like a poster, and students would make like a little collage, cutting up magazines and making drawings. And what they did was to create a collage of what makes them feel excited, what makes them feel surprised, what makes them feel scared, etc. So this can become a little bit more artistic, right? So this looks like a very simple thing to do, but the idea is that we are helping our students to identify how they feel and why they feel that way. Okay. Let's see. I have some more people who are commenting. Someone is saying a decision roulette. Okay. Could you give us more information about what the decision roulette is, Ingrid? I will read. I will read it for everybody. Also, someone is saying that someone is saying no tengo acceso al chat. Yes, you do, because I'm reading you. The thing about the chat is that I am the only person that can read the chat. I know that sucks, and that's how GoToWebinar works. But I can read your I can read whatever you want to share with the others. Okay. And Diana is asking, these activities can be applied to children from what ages? Well, from any age. It really depends on how you ask them to interact with the wheel. Yes, I can read you, Norma, Angelica. So, for example, if I would use this emotion wheel with very young children, let's say, yes, Cecilia Pan, I can see your comments. So if you're using this with very young children, I would use less emotions, like more simple emotions. And then I would ask them to draw pictures, like what makes you happy. And probably they will draw a toy or their pet or maybe their family, right? And if I would use this with teenagers, for example, in secondary school, I would make a big poster out of this. I would choose words that come from this chart, something more challenging, and then I would ask them to decorate this. They could write sentences or words or phrases. They can draw. They can paste pictures they find. So I think that this will work. This could be interesting for them, right? Here I have someone else who is saying it can be like a poster. Brisa is saying it can be like a poster. So maybe, hold on, don't go. It can be like a poster. So maybe we create a big poster for each emotion and paste it on the walls. Then learners write ideas or paste images in them. So all together can create a poster. That's true. That's a great idea. I like it. Um, Now Valeria is saying, for example, with preschoolers, I use happy, sad, angry, hungry, and sleepy. But with first and second grade on elementary school, I add nervous, scared, proud. Excellent. Yeah, that's exactly how, right? So don't forget that these ideas I'm going to share with you are very broad, but you can personalize them to make them fit your students, right? Um, Also, Jennifer is saying, I think we can suggest this to parents. They can use it at home. I agree. I agree, Jennifer. I think this would be a great. Here I have a decision roulette is an app, but it is like a spin wheel. You click on it and it spins and you get something. Okay, right. But maybe we could use the spin wheel, this roulette, to act out, which is useful for my next suggestion, right? Oh, it's not the next, but it's coming soon, right? Also, self collages are good ideas for our students to try. Once again, this can be done by very young children. For example, the very first thing that says all about me self-portrait, that's for young children. And the idea is that they draw their face and they even use strings to decorate their hair, right? And then, as you can see, they paste inside the things that make them happy, right? Or in here, for example, we have Brianna, and she's making a self collage of all the things that make her who she is, right? And on the other side, we have a teenage version of this, which is basically pasting words. This one I like because it's not only pictures, but lots of words that represent who you are. Right? So for example, this person, movies, together, team, cupcake, cookies. It's probably a very sociable person, no one that's doing this, right? Here I have more examples of this. These ones are also created with words. Now, something interesting, as you can see in all of these things, we have an artistic component because the idea is that they express themselves, right? Here we have one more activity, which is describing emotions. So this is the one that I was telling you could be maybe somehow compatible with the roulette. I will give you the idea. Well, I will share with you the idea first of how this works, and then I will tell you how you could apply it with the roulette, right? So this activity, you just have to look for a picture. You have to look at a picture for a few seconds and say how you think this person is feeling, right? And why you think the person is feeling that way, right? So it's just basically saying how the person feels and why you think they feel this way, right? So Carla Lopez is saying, could you go back for the faces? Do you mean these ones? Or maybe these ones? These are all self collages. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's a collage that represents who you are, right? And this can be used with students for teenagers as well. And the idea is that it's an artistic activity. So let me go back here to this activity that we're going to start. So remember, you have to look at the picture, and in the chat, you have to tell us how do you think this person is feeling and why you think the person is feeling that way. Ready? Here's the first one. How is she feeling and why is she feeling that way? So I'm reading. People are saying that she's frustrated. She's tired. She's feeling upset. She looks frustrated. Maybe she, oops, that left. I think she's feeling frustrated. Her corporal expression shows it, all right? Now, why do you think she's feeling frustrated or disappointed? Or if you watch the movie, why is she feeling like this? And someone is saying desperate because she can't reach the white rabbit, right? She has to do all the housework by herself. That would make you feel annoyed. She wants to go back home. That's the story. Okay, cool. She's frustrated because she has to deal with people who makes her feel desperate. All right, been there, done that, etc. Right? Okay. Here's another one. How about this? How is he feeling? Why is he feeling like that? Someone is saying sad. Now, if you watch this episode in The Simpsons and you know why Bart feels like this, tell us. He's brokenhearted, he's unhappy, he was feeling abandoned, he's feeling hurt, he's crying because of his heart broke, he was punished, he's depressed. Alrighty, how about this one? How do you think this koala bear feels? Let's look at what my panelists have to say. Okay, surprised. He's surprised. Why is the koala bear surprised? Someone says he's happy because he's eating. Yeah, but he looks surprised. Someone is saying he looks as if he's in alert. Okay, good view. Maybe he saw a predator. Cool. Okay. Wait. I missed the silly joke. Where's the silly joke? Um, that's a funny joke, Danielo, just I think. So he's saying eucalyptus el legalito, right? Which is related to legalizing it, right? How about this one? How about this little girl? How is she feeling and why is she feeling like this? She's excited, someone saying, proud, elated. She's a show off. She's being sassy. I like sassy. Okay. She's feeling sassy because she's a princess. How about this one? Look at the three bears. So they found the culprit upstairs. My bed, wail baby bear. It's gone. Right? And they are shocked. They are surprised. Good. Okay. So here's another one. I'm going to skip it. And the thing about this activity is for children to learn to recognize emotions in someone else. And here's a tip. Try this activity with your students in a circle and elicit that they answer at random, but also that they try to name the emotions and to show the emotions, right? Something interesting could be not just naming the emotion, but also trying to role play or trying to act out what the emotion is, right? Now, here's a fun fact. Sometimes people think they are showing an emotion, but the emotion is read completely different by the others. So these kinds of activities where students have to act out and try gestures and making faces, etc. What they're trying to is also to communicate using using corporal body language, right? So something interesting again is that you can try this activity where they recognize pictures emotions, but also students can try to create the emotions themselves, and people have to guess, right? So Andrea is saying that she loves circle time activities. Me too, Andrea. I think circle time activities are awesome because everybody can see each other, and you can communicate in a more open way, right? So it's important that if possible, I know that some of you have huge classes, you have large classes, and maybe it's not possible, but try to let people participate as much as possible, as many kids as they can. Here I have another activity, which is called What Bugs Me. I love this activity. I think it's really funny. And it says you need to create this caterpillar and then to paste these circles. And when you lift it, it bugs me when, and then you read it. You read what bugs you. So why is this activity interesting or useful? Well, lots of people don't know when things bug them. I think that sometimes that can be surprising, but um, sometimes you're not very aware of who you are, right? Um, um, And there are most of the resources, someone is saying, available on Teachers Pay Teachers. Yes, there are many of these things that are templates that you can download from Teachers Pay Teachers or places like that. There is a website that I love that it's called Teachnology. I'm going to type it in the chat so everybody can see it. Teachnology.com. So Teachnology is a website that exists since probably 2007. It's very old. And Teachnology is, oh wait, I sent this message only to Anaid. Sorry, I'm sending the message to everybody in the chat. Teachnology.com. I love teachnology.com. There is a free version and there is a version where you have to pay for it, but the free version is good enough. They have thousands of templates for holidays, for example, and they have lots of things that you can use as well for social and emotional learning. So Tere is asking, in the bug activity, could it happen that kids use this information to bug each other? It could. It could. Hopefully not, but it could, right? So Valeria is saying teachnology. Did I spell it wrong? I spell it wrong. Sorry. Teachnology. I'm sorry. It's teachnology. There you go. Daniel is, yes, Daniel, that's the one. Let me copy this for everybody in the chat so everybody can see it. There. Thank you, Daniel Ojos, who is giving us the website. Also, John Quiroga. Thank you, guys. So yes, there are lots of things here. And also, you would be surprised if you are not a fan yet, go get your account in Pinterest. Pinterest has lots and lots of templates and ideas and activities that you can use. It's really easy to find things. So the idea of Pinterest is also quite good, right? Could I write again? Teachnology. Yes. Here's the website again. Can you see it in the chat box? Let me know if you can see it in the chat box. Supposedly everyone should be able to see it, okay? And the other one is Pinterest, which is like fake, Instagram or Facebook. It's a social media thingy. Okay. So this one is that bugs me. Here I have another one which is called Draw and Talk. Drawing is the way in which children communicate the best. Most psychologists that work with children use drawing because by drawing, children express many things that they cannot verbalize yet, right? And this is the reason they cannot say things yet. There are things they cannot express. So by using sorry, Briza is asking what's the website. I haven't mentioned what's the website. I will tell you which is the website at the end of the session, okay? So let me continue because I think we're almost running out of time and I would like to share with you as many of these ideas as possible. But well, basically having activities where students can draw can help them express their feelings better, which means sometimes when you ask questions like how are you feeling, what bugs you, etc., students don't know how to express this because sometimes our emotional vocabulary is limited. But if you ask them to draw, you will get more answers, right? Here I have another one, which is having activities where they cooperate. I'm sorry, my PowerPoint automatically translated this word, but it's responsible decision making, right? So for cooperation activities, whenever you ask your students to work together, to talk to each other, to organize, to get into groups, we are helping with these social and emotional skills as well, right? So for example, here I have an idea of a cooperation lesson, which is basically you give them these challenges. These are strips of paper and you challenge the groups with these different strips, right? This, for example, could be good. Someone is saying to work at home in time of coronavirus. Draw how you think mom, dad says. Well, yeah, that could be good, right? So I think that there are some activities. Actually, you're right on spot. There are many social and emotional activities that your students could be doing right now, right? They could be creating these posters, or they could be making some pictures, or they could be doing things to work on social and emotional skills, not necessarily grammar and vocabulary. And I think that will also be useful, right? So this is another idea. I think this idea was given by Mayra Lopez, who is one of our panelists today, and she's suggesting that they have these activities where they get these challenges, and basically the idea is that they do this, right? So let's move on to this one. This activity I really like, and it's called Are You a Bucket Filler? Sounds almost like a bad word, but it's not. So a bucket filler or a bucket dipper. A bucket filler is a person that helps others feeling better, and a bucket dipper is a person that helps others feel worse, right? So basically what you have to do is to put ideas inside what a bucket filler is and ideas inside of what a bucket dipper is. And this helps children reflect on how they feel. Yes, this is a story. Mariana Cabrera is saying that she loves this book. This idea comes from a book called How Full Is Your Bucket? And well, you not necessarily have to read the book to try the activity. And I think this is a good way in which you can work as a group all together to decide which things are cool and which things aren't cool to do with others, right? Here's another one. This one is called Sprinkle Kindness. And in here, the idea is that you decorate a donut by saying how you can spread kindness, right? We can show kindness by how. And then in here, you have to create kindness sprinkles of kindness, right? And the idea here is that you write things that can help people feel better. I show kindness by, and then you complete this. Being kind means, and that, right? The kindest thing that can be done is this, etc., etc. So this is a little activity that can be done. I think that you need to be an older child who can already read and write to do this sprinkle kindness activity. And I think it could work even for teenagers if you get them in a good mood, right? Here I have another one, which is for self-regulation. This one is called breathing. And it's basically showing our students the power of breath. Whenever you're feeling in a situation out of control, breathe, right? And the idea of this activity is that you draw this infinity sign and you follow this with your finger as you breathe. You breathe in when you go, you breathe out when you come back. Breathe in when you go, breathe out when you go back. Also, I have this other activity, which is my positive self-talk. Your students have to create this little flower and they have to write positive message to themselves. So when they are feeling down or they're cranky or they're sad or they're depressed, they take out this out of their pocket and they unfold the little petals and think about how they can make themselves feel better. Now this comes from behavioral cognitive therapy. For example, when you are trying to lose weight or when you are trying to quit smoking and you go to a therapist that uses cognitive behavioral therapy, they do things like this. These are strategies that can help you remember this. This is another idea. It's the same as this one, but this one is in a key ring, right? And I can get through this, through anything. I will be fine. I'm strong. I'm happy. Alejandra Espinosa says that this reminds her a little of mindfulness. Yes, actually, mindfulness has a very positive outcome in social and emotional learning. We have a new book for primary school called Open Day, and Open Day has mindfulness lessons. So if you're interested in mindfulness in your school, take a look at Open Day. I think you will find interesting things there. And well, also the last activity that I will show with you because time's up is the emotions remote control. So basically, what students have to do is to create a remote control and they will have buttons that help them feel better. So they will draw the emotions like this. And then they will, oh, sorry, that's not the one. But basically what they do is that they draw emotions, they draw emoticons on the buttons. And when you lift the button, because you don't push it, it's not that technical. When you lift the button, you can see a strategy that can help you change that emotion or to enjoy that emotion, right? If you feel happy, you don't want to change the emotion, but you want to embrace it. So, for example, if you're feeling sad, maybe I lift it and it says cry. And crying will make you feel better, maybe, right? Or it says happy, and then you lift it and it says smile to other people, etc. So that's how this is supposed to work, right? Now, let me share with you very quickly. This is the website that I mentioned where you can find lots of things from social and emotional learning. And what I'm going to show you now is I'm going to show you the channel where you can find the recordings. Okay, so it's www.gotostage slash gotostage.com/channel/Richmond Teacher Training. Alrighty, so go to stage.com/channel/Richmond Teacher Training, and it will take you here. And in here, you can see the recordings from our previous sessions. You can watch what we have done before. This is the Easter special we had yesterday, and all the webinars we've had in this month. You can find them here. Here they are. So visit this website. Just hold on for a second because I'm coming to show you this. Okay, sorry. Coming back very soon. So we were exploring some activities very briefly, where we talked about these 5 different ways in which we can help students. The idea is that we can dedicate some time during our classes to work on social and emotional learning and to promote these skills in our students: self-management, self-awareness, responsible decision-making, relationship skills, and social awareness. So this is homework for you. Your homework is to complete this chart. Okay, so you can take a captura de pantalla, a screenshot, and the idea is that you work on this during this time. I would like you to complete these circles with pictures or phrases where you are going to make a plan to take care of yourselves. The circles do not spin, Anaïs. Stop drinking so early in the morning. Anaïs is one of our panelists, is a consultant. Okay, but she's saying that the circles are spinning, and I'm sure that now that she told you, more people are thinking that the circles are spinning, but they're not. So what you are supposed to do then is to write inside which things you're going to do to feel well physically. Now that you cannot go outside, what are you going to do to keep your physical health, your mental health, and your emotional health? So make a plan to take care of yourself. If you're really interested in social and emotional learning, start with yourself. Think about this plan. This is my contact information. I am Magdalena Tiburcio. I am the Academic Services Coordinator for Richmond, Mexico. You can find me in mtiburcio@richmonddlt.com. For our upcoming webinars, you can visit richmond.com.mx, and in there you will find a menu called webinars. There you can see our webinars for next week. We still have room for next week, but if you are interested, my suggestion is that you enroll as fast as possible because our webinars are getting packed very quickly. If you would like to learn more about Open Day, if you would like to have a copy, send a message to marketing@richmonddlt.com. And if you want to watch the recordings, as I mentioned, go to gotostage.com/channel/Richmond Teacher Training. So teachers, thank you very much for joining this session. It was a pleasure to be working with you. It's sad that we cannot see each other in person, but we can be in contact online. So stay informed about our webinars. We will be having webinars all this time, and we are very happy that you come online and join us. So have an amazing day. Have a great weekend. Enjoy being at home and stay safe. So have a great day, and I'm finishing the webinar now, but I will stay a couple of minutes for to check the chat and answer some of your questions. So have a great day. Bye-bye.